Hello everyone, my name is Wei Ling and my team partner is Ozair, and today we will be explaining about question 5, a question from our computer-based test based on our module simulation and credibility theory. Okay, now we'll straight go into the question and extract the information available in the question. So our claim severity follows a Weibull distribution, tau equals to 2 and theta equals to, so it's Weibull tau equals to 2 and theta equals to 950. And moving on is that we are actually given 150 numbers that are randomly generated based on the uniform distribution from 0 to 1. And also, we also have to note that it is given that our deductible per loss is actually 200 and the maximum covered loss is U. And also, we are also given an extra hint that EX minus EY equals to 239. We can also add that. So basically, we have 115 data here, randomly generated, and then D is 200. And then our maximum covered loss is U, and given is that EX minus EY is equals to 239.125 156,638,519. So, okay, let's just break down the steps on how we should approach this question. So, the first step is basically to find out the severity amount for each random number generated here. So, we are looking at xi, which is actually the value at risk. So, the value at risk, the VAR formula is actually for Weibull, theta minus ln 1 minus p 1 over tau. Okay, so we will be using this formula. We input the random number into P to generate our value X together with the parameters given in the question. So we will have 150 claim amounts, claim severity. Yes, and then moving on, we will find out the average of the claim severities. That is our X bar. And then moving on is that once we find EX, we are given the clue that EX minus EY is actually this amount. So we can actually find out what's the value of EY. And from EY, we can actually find summation of YI. That is, we can actually multiply N with EY. That is basically 150 times EY. Okay, so moving on, once we've gotten our summation of YI, we will be using a technique on Excel. It's called goalkeeper. But before we move on to that, later on, of course, we'll have to find out what's our payment on here. Our payment per loss, that is our YI, for each of the random number generated. So before using goal seeker, we will be using certain constraints where YI is actually based on these three constraints. That is, when X is less than the deductible, the insurance company will not pay anything because it's less than the deductible. And then in the event that X is actually in between the deductible and also less than the maximum covered loss, the insurance company will actually pay X minus D. That is your claim severity minus the deductible. And then finally, if X is actually greater than the maximum covered loss, because U is the maximum amount that the policy actually covers. So the company will actually just pay the maximum covered loss minus D. Okay, so in the Excel part, we will basically cover how are we going to determine each XI amount, which category do they fall into in order to generate our Y payment. So moving on, I'll pass on the stage to my partner Ozair to explain more on the technical side of this question on how to answer it using the goal seeker function on Excel.
We are supposed to find the value of U, which is a maximum covered loss. So first of all, we're also given the uniform random numbers. We have to find the claim amount or the severity, which is this, by using the formula of value at risk of X, value of risk of the Weibull distribution. By putting in the values, which is D3, 950, multiplied by negative ln 1 minus D2, 1 minus the first uniform random number, the whole thing to the power of 1 over 2. And you'll get the first value for the first severity. And then the value is dragged down until the end here. And to total them up, you'll get the summation of the entire thing, which is equals to 126,139.6237. Next, we are given the expected of X minus expected of Y, which is expected of X is basically expected of the claim amount minus expected of the payment made by insurance, which is 239.125,166. In order to find the expected of Y, which is 601.805669, we have to get the expected of X first, which is simply this value divided by 150, and hence you'll get 840.9380. Once you've done that, we have to find the value of the summation of the payment, which is simply expected Y multiplied by 150. Once we are done with that, find value of U, we have to put the formula in, which is if the severity is bigger than U, if the severity is more than U, we will print U minus 200. If the severity is less than the deductible, we print 0. If the severity is between the U and the deductible, we print the severity minus the deductible. And then we drag it once more to the end. Now we have to find the value of U, which is simply data. We're going to use what if analysis goal seek. So we set this cell, which is a summation of the entire Y value to the value of 90,270.85019. And then we have to change the cell of U, which is B4. And hence we will get the final answer to 1370.95, which these two matches as well. Thank you.